OEL, I think, went to get X-rays. Who's the other? Curtis. No. I haven't talked to Docs about Curtis, but they're obviously day-to-day right now.
You're ruling them out for Saturday, or not necessarily?
Yeah, I don't think OEL's going to play Saturday. Curtis maybe, but I don't think OEL will be in.
And Thatcher's departure from practice today, was that designed, or?
I was teaching. I didn't see him go off, but I know he had 30 minutes before, so he got about 45 minutes of practice. So you got to remember he was out there 30 minutes before. So you don't want to go stay, especially him coming back from injuries. You don't want him to stay out too long. And I think he's been working really hard.
You didn't get any report when you came off that he had tweaked anything or had?
No, I haven't talked to the trainer. No. If it was if it was something bad, the trainer would have been told me by now. So I don't think it's bad or anything.
The guy who has an advantage in this transition is probably Anthony Beauvillier, because he would be transitioning no matter what. How have you seen him adapt to sort of fit the group since he came?
Yeah, I think he's done a really nice job in integrating with the players. He's got a smile on him. I like him. He's a cheery guy. We need that. Saying that though, sometimes I think playing with Petey, I think sometimes he's a little too fancy. Sometimes that line gets fancy, so he's got to be careful because he's a fast player. He's a first forecheck player. If he does that, I think he'll be really effective. Sometimes he gets a little bit too much east-west with Petey. I found them the last couple of games trying a little too fancy stuff, and that's what happens with players. Sometimes you get elevated to a player with a really good star player like Petey. You start to forget what your strengths are. And I'm not saying he was horrible, but I thought he got a little bit too much east-west with him.
Because he is, you talked about north-south players and wall guys, and he is one of those kind of natural, isn't he?
Yeah, he's definitely, the Islanders play that way, so I want him to play that same way here. I don't want him to change because he's playing with a different player, so you're right. Like I said, I just thought those guys got a little too east-west, especially the first 2 periods against the Rangers. But when the third period, I thought that line played good because they started to get more north-south, and they were better in the third period.
We've seen, this is my last question.
Oh yeah, no problem.
I'll let others ask a question. But we've seen here many times, and it's probably happened other places too.
Yeah.
Guys get acquired, and they kind of get overshadowed. Like they're somebody who's been a second pair guy, suddenly is on the first pair, right. Somebody who's, whatever, was a third line center, now he's going to be the first line center. Beauvillier was a third line player, but he's been on the first line. Do you think that adds more pressure, or does it create sort of an expectation that he might have a hard time?
Well, that's a great question. I think it's my job and the coaching staff to make what his strengths are. Obviously we're a little thin on certain situations, so some guys might have to play in different positions, in different lines. But saying that, to play with, especially Peter Pettersson, is we need that forecheck-in guy go through the middle of the ice, win retrievals, win puck battles, and that's who he is. So we got to work to that strength. Yeah, I don't want him to try to play like somebody different. And there's a third line role. You can still have a third line mentality playing a first line role. Just be first on the forecheck and do all the little things to help your teammates out.
Rick, you've talked about the need for more practice with this team. You've got a couple of good long sessions in this week. What have you learned about this group in the last since you came back?
Well, I think the group is trying to work hard. It's not an excuse. I know coach staff. I wish we had more time. You just got to know it's a hard game, and I felt against the Rangers there was some good effort, but you got to go through people. You got to stick people. You got to mark people. We have a bad habit of spinning away from people, and I don't know. That's going to take a long time. That's hard hockey, and you're not going to be a winning team if you don't embrace that, that pain. Where it's, and I don't care if you're small or a big guy. You don't have to kill a guy. You just got to make sure you mark your guy. Sorry, yelling too much. Sorry. So T-zone, especially the Rangers, you got to make sure you go on Panarin. I don't care if you're Pettersson, if you're Hughes, if you're Joshua Dakota. That's your man. You go through him. You don't have to kill him. And I feel we come on for check way too much. But that starts in training camp. That starts weeks and weeks of pounding and pounding and pounding. So we got a lot of work to do. To be quite frank, it's not an indictment to anybody. It's just that's the way it is. And we have to, as coaches, exhaust everything we have to make sure that these guys understand.
How difficult is it to make those changes at mid-season?
Well, it's very difficult. I mean, you're on the fly. I know people want results, and I'm worried about the other stuff. The results will come if we do that stuff. We're not going to win hockey games if we forget about the process. You just can't. That's why the other day I had a pretty good practice. Maybe some guys retired last game. Maybe that's why we lost it. I don't know. I don't care. I mean, we have to go through this process, and we have to go through the pain. You can't be caught in between. You will never win. So we just got to make sure that we just keep chipping away.
Rick, where do you stand on shot blocking and the need to block shots? I think you had 9 last night as a group. Like, is that
not enough?
Yeah.
We have guys who are penalty killing that don't block enough shots, and I got to find people that do that. It's not. Listen, I get it, but there's certain times when you just got to block that shot. There's just no excuse. 6 minutes left, and you're the flex out guy, and you got to get out on a guy. That shot's got to be blocked. So yeah, that's another part of the process here. We have to block shots.
Stanika obviously has been ill and hasn't been available. So are you kind of curious as you go about fact finding and what you've got to work with?
Well, the one thing I'm kind of like about him, I mean, obviously he put some weight back. He lost a bit of weight there, but he put his hockey IQ. I think there's some hockey IQ. Like I'm demanding some stuff in the D zone that it's not so much. You have to have a little hockey IQ, but I see that in him. Whether he can play here or not, I don't know. But I do like this hockey IQ. I will tell you that, and his work ethic too. He's really worked hard this week, and he wants to prove to me that he wants to line. But I'm going to try to get him in the lineup. He probably will be in the lineup.
You talked about developing ball guys, puck goals, and Phil just said you showed something here as well. The rest of the line, do you see something there in terms of other guys developing into that role?
Yeah, I mean, Giuseppe is kind of perfect example. He's 29-year-old, he's been in the minors, and he's been one of my best players. So because he's buying in, Podkolzin is a kid that I love him in the sense that he wants to work hard. Like practice day when he turns around on a check, you got to stop the drill and tell Pods that you got to go through the drill. That's the only way you're going to get better is you do it in practice. He just doesn't wake up every day. Sidney Crosby practices hard every day. D-zone coverage, that's his man. He goes through his man. Like he just does it all of a sudden. Sidney Crosby didn't become Sidney Crosby because, hey, I'm just going to do it in the games. And we have to understand it.
That buy-in that you're talking about, is it easier to get that from guys who come up from the AHL than guys?
Well, yeah, because they're desperate. But we have to. It's just a desperation, and even our leadership group, they got to make each other accountable. When they're going 5-on-5 against each other, I want to see them go best on best. I don't want Pete and Billsy to go at it in a good way, but challenge himself, because good players want that. Who wants to play at 5-on-5 and everybody's easy and it's not fun. You want to go against the best. So challenge your buddy, challenge, and we got to get better at that. I mean, but that's good though. I mean, it's something that we're all embracing here.
You mentioned about you can't be caught in between. Do you think there's some guys right now, there's maybe some hesitation in their game because they're trying to think about what it is you want versus what it is they have been doing? And it's
yes and no. I mean, the puck's going in there. You have some conviction and go and get the guy. Like, I agree with you. Maybe there's a hesitation on some stuff, but you got to talk. This team doesn't talk. And, I don't know. You guys watched me today. I was really upset. Because we do a drill, we're not talking. Hockey is a fast sport, and if I can tell my buddy, I got him, that half second is the difference between a goal. So there's not a lot of talk, and we have to develop that. The personality. Petey's a quiet guy. Hugh's a quiet guy, but Dakota Joshua's, they're quiet guys, but you can't be quiet on the ice because if you talk and you trust your partner, you're going to get that extra half a second. Half a second in NHL, people might not realize it's huge in hockey. We got to find that half a second.